What is the one thing that you really want in life? That is the question of the day. And that's the question not only of the day and not of the week and of the month, of the year. It's actually for some of us the question that we carry along from one year to the other, and maybe even until we part from this beautiful world. And I want to context this a little. So right now I'm doing market research because I want to hone in my messaging. I want to understand my ideal clients better. And when you have an online business and when you do want to speak to the right people with the right messaging, you conduct market research. You inquire, how they see their challenges, how they speak about it, and in general, what do they have to say? Because we as entrepreneurs, as coaches, healers, therapists, we do know what are the pain points, what are the challenges, but our ideal client very often doesn't know or wouldn't phrase it that way. And maybe has a bit of awareness, but not really, and all sorts of things. So, hi Jessica. So good to see you, and thanks for watching, for popping on. And yeah, it's the middle of my work day, to be honest, but I thought I'll hop on and speak about this question that I want to context a little bit. So back to the one question. And I was on a market research call early today in my morning before I started working in my corporate job. And it was a very lovely lady, very early stage entrepreneur, very ambitious, a very beautiful soul. It was very delightful to speak to her. And so I poked around the things that she was trying to convey, answering my questions, and sometimes, drifting off from that questions, which very often happens, right? And which is fine, because I want them to talk a lot, and I want to see, what is the actual issue and how they actually, what excuses they have, or maybe they think of something that's the challenge, but then underneath there's even more challenge, is actually the root cause of the challenge, right? And very often what we think is the issue on the surface in our business, because she wasn't clear on her niche, she was very afraid to niche down. She didn't sell her programs and the courses, and yeah, she was very blocked around this. And yeah, but that's not the issue, obviously. So, and then we were talking about what she loves doing, what is her true desire in life, what is it really that she wants. And she told me a lot of things, and all true, obviously, but it's very, of course we want to have a successful business. Of course we want to be financially well off. We want to, monetize on our gifts and on the impact that we are making every day. Like all those things, right? But so I inquired further and further, and it was very interesting to see that we actually, by me sticking with my questions and letting her speak, we came to the point that she gave me the answer that I felt was the true answer underneath everything that we list of what we want to have in life. And it can be like, I want to be fulfilled, but then what does fulfillment mean to you? Because it means one thing for me, but maybe an entire other thing for you. So, and also money, right? I mean, yes, of course, we all want to be wealthy. We all want to have money that we can, invest into our business, that we can live a good lifestyle and, give to other people, donate and all this stuff. But that's not it. This is maybe in the outside, but there's something deeper. And then we came to it, and I thought I wanted to use that as the answer to the question that what is it that you really want? and what you really, really want. And if you disagree and if it doesn't resonate, please, please, please comment, because I'm fully here to listen to other viewpoints. But what I truly believe, what you are here for, yes, it's the impact. Yes, it's the money. Yes, to be a good person. Yes, yes to everything, right? Yes to the success, to the thriving, you know, to being fulfilled. Yes to everything, being healthy, you know. But what you really want is to be your best self. And your best self is whatever that means for you. But when I think about what is the best version of myself, you know, who is she? Who is the best version of me? That's a person, you know, that doesn't shy away from challenges, that doesn't shy away from emotions, the challenging ones. Just this week I had like so much anger, was so emotionally triggered by something. I was crying and sobbing, you know, into my friend's ear. And the best self, the best me is making mistakes and still feels like, well, doesn't matter, let's go for it, right? The best self is just what we really, why we do what we do, you know? Because the best version obviously wants to, you know, give the best version of us, the best self, you know, is here to make, to, you know, to maybe leave a legacy, you know? I just used the word Jessica, legacy. Not everybody wants to leave a legacy, I know, but some. And that's the best, and that's what I truly believe everyone wants and wants to reach and is thriving for. And that's why we often do these visualizations, right, into like, who is Martina 5 years down the lane? This success, you know, because especially in quantum physics, right, there's like this theory of that we live parallel lives, you know, like that there's a one version that is speaking right now in a life, there's another version who might be already a mom, there's another version who might travel the world, right, there's another version whatever, right? So, and that everything is going in parallel. And I don't know why I even said this right now. I think I lost my train of thought, to be honest, but never mind. Yeah, so, and when I think about my future best version, you know, that's exactly why I do today what I do, why I'm on a live stream today. It's also why I'm working a corporate job. That's why I run 2 businesses. That's why I, you know, do my best to be the best wife and partner of my husband and the best friend, you know. So everything I do leads up to this, you know, to this. I want to live the best version of me, you know, and I'm very certain that this is true for you too. And I would love to hear if you say like, oh, that doesn't resonate and land with me because I see it differently. Because of course, this is not the truth, right? It's just what I believe. And today in this beautiful conversation, it was like over an hour, we had really a lovely talk. And as soon as we hit that spot of who is that person, that her best version, right? I could see how she was lit up. You know, she suddenly wasn't blocked anymore. She got like inspired, you know, to go work on her niche and all the things that she thought that she was blocked. And it was just wonderful to see. And it's also like when I asked her, what does embodiment mean to you? Because, you know, what she was saying, I want to be more embodied. I want to be more me. I want to be more me because I learned very early on that being still is safer. And for how many of us, how true is that in your life? Maybe not to that extent as it was. Maybe it was never really resonant for you. Maybe you felt safe in most of your relationships, or you were raised and educated to be a strong force that can be loud. But most of my clients definitely are the ones who are seriously struggling to show up and to show them their real colors, to have them peek inside their heart. And that was the advice I gave the beautiful lady that I had the market research. You know, I tell her, People need to feel you. You are a lot in your head when you talk about your program. You know, when you explain me your program, yeah, it was nothing special, to be honest, because it's what most of us coaches are maybe teaching or kind of conveying. But what is your life experience? You know, I want to feel that what goes from your whole, you know, experience, your embodiment of whatever, you know, of the wisdom that you gathered along the way. You know, I want that to see in your program, and you speaking also to it, showing, hey, I'm my best testimonial because I created a program that helped me in the past to kind of, you know, move through my challenges, and I'm on the other side, and now I can teach you, I can show you, you know, I can guide you, I can mentor you. So, and I was saying, like, you know, like, having an open heart as a woman, because we are so protected because of, you know, past hurt and stuff. It's like, it's where we close our heart. And when our heart is closed, our throat is also blocked. Very often it comes together. And then, of course, when our heart is closed, our womb, our yoni, you know, especially the yoni, is closed as well. We don't enjoy sex. We feel like pleasure is something like, what is pleasure even, you know? And again, pleasure has nothing necessarily to do with anything sexual, right? But we don't even know that we can experience pleasure all over our body, or not on other places or locations on our body. And yeah, so Jessica is saying self-actualization and fulfilling your potential. Yes, exactly. This is exactly it. You know, that goes into, you know, living your best self. That's exactly it. And underneath everything that you think that you want and why you do what you do, have a look if the one thing that you really want is not the money, it's not this, it's not that. It's actually just really genuinely showing who you are, like unapologetically and without any guilt or any shame or, you know, with holding back. I was just yesterday, I was like creating a reel. And in the first second of that reel, you see me crying, you know, and every time I post something where people see me cry, I have so much reactions in both directions, positive and negative. And then my partner saw that video, like the first seconds, like, what is this? You know, it's like, why are you even like showing this? Like, and I said, no, that's my thing. You know, there's a reason why I show this. This has to do with the reel, with inspiration, with the message that I want to convey, right? Because it sometimes feels like, why am I sharing videos of me, like a few seconds of me crying, right? And I mean, come on, it's like in every movie you see, in most of the movies, you see a crying scene, right? But for me, when I see somebody like crying, be it in a movie or like a person in her or his real life, it touches me, you know, it gets to me and it makes me like feel something. And when you are in your best self, in your highest potential, when you are really self-actualized, whatever that means and however that shows in your life, people feel you. And when people can feel you, then they are more likely to follow your leadership. They don't follow when you're in your head and when you just talk from your intellect. It might be cool for a moment, it might be interesting, you might learn a lot, but in the end of the day, that's not the true leadership either, you know, like leading from the intellect. Because you need to prove that you can go through the challenges and that you can show your weakness. You can show that you had a challenge and that in that moment it's not easy to move through. And what I wanted to say, I forgot. But this chat with this wonderful lady was really, really eye-opening. And there was something I wanted to say before leadership, but I think I forgot. Anyway, I'm just seeing like the notes of our market research, if there's anything. No. Anyway, but that was, and in the end, what she also truly desired was like, you know, a deep connection to herself. And she said, oh, I have the deeper connection to myself already, right? But even though this is true, it's not really connected with your mind either, because there is usually disconnect, you know, with women. Disconnected head from the body. We shut off the body because everything we feel is overwhelming or overwhelmed us. There's a lot of trauma stored. There's a lot of stuck energy that provides us discomfort, pain, disease. So the true connection to yourself, to really come to your self energy with a capital S, self energy. You know, this, what like all the Eastern philosophies talking about, you know, this endless love, this one energy where you are just compassionate, you know, and we all have access to it, but it's not easy, you know, knowing when we have added on so much baggage from the past onto that self energy, right? Those parts that we created to protect us in various situations, they're really blending with that self energy, and then it's really hard to be authentic, because those parts of us that are running our show are not authentic. They are actually the ones that are fake, that are sometimes pretending, you know, that we pretend something that we aren't, you know. And that, oh no, that didn't touch me, or oh, I'm not showing that I just actually messed up my launch, or my live stream, or whatever, you know. So again, bringing it back to this question, and your best self is really unblended. And it's not like it's unblended 100% and all like 24/7. It's unblended to an extent that it can easily spot when a part kicks in and blocks us again, or protects us in a situation where we don't need to be protected, you know. For example, I had a very emotional trigger this week. It was a hardcore somatic trigger, to be honest. It surprised me how it was. I was like sobbing. I mean, I am a person that can cry quite easily, and because I love the release, I love the tears. I think the tears are one of the most beautiful gifts that we can give to ourselves, right? It's a cleansing process. But I was like shaking, like I was crying, like, you know, like, and I can't remember when I was like last time sobbing like this, you know. And I was like shaking, like my body was physically like really, and I was really caught off guard. I wasn't expecting this. And there were parts coming in, you know, trying to, first of all, to distract myself with work, with like, I remember like I was like, let's just forget about, because it was a message that triggered me, let's forget about this, you know, let's just start cooking. I think it was like, let's just go back, I had some work to do. And then I was like consciously, no, this is a gift, I unpack it now. And then there was another part that came in. I was like, the sender from that message, what a bad person that is, you know. I was like, and wanted to blame and kind of like go into a victim mentality, right? So I had so many parts kicking in, you know. And then of course I had this part that was very tender, that was very frightened, that was like super scared and didn't know what to make out of that situation. So they're trying, you know, kind of to blend with yourself and grasping your attention and trying to drive you into whatever behavior, into whatever distraction, in whatever sabotaging act even, you know. And so for me, it was like just breathing through it and allowing every part to come up to the surface, you know. But I didn't react to either of whatever the parts wanted me to do, you know. Going to cook, distracting myself with work, forgetting about it. There was so many things that went through my head, and the easiest was just I want to press it down, because I got a sick feeling in my stomach when I read that message. It was making me physically sick, and I was like, I know how I was like so familiar, you know, this pressing down of that feeling, you know, just like cutting off here and just being in the head, and then analyze it, but just in your head, not processing, you know, because there's a huge difference. And this is not how you become your best self. You're not your best self here. You're not. You're a fake here. You're conditioned here. And everything you read, everything that you haven't really learned through experience, through, you know, because you applied things and you learned some wisdom out of it. Also, like in a sense of, you know, how that resonated in your body. You know, was there a good resonance to it? Was there a bad resonance to it? You know, is not your best self either. As like, you know, if you're just being cut off from here. So I think it's the best self that we all want to be, as a beautiful harmony that of course can sometimes be, you know, harmony in one way, but of course there are moments where we find a disconnect, right? But we catch the disconnect and mend it. Maybe not in that moment, maybe we need half an hour, maybe we need an hour a day, while we are not like, you know, putting it in a drawer, into a mental drawer and just forgetting about it, you know? Because every experience makes you so much richer, you know? And this experience I had, I think 3 days ago, was really hard. It was really surprising, you know, but it made me even a better person right now, because I worked that through, like everything through, and then I felt like, oh, you know what? It gave me so much experience and wisdom, and I talked about that in my live streams, and I shared that stories with my clients, and it was just, yeah, it was enriching. And I know I'm closer to my best self than I was a few days ago prior to this incident. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share today. And if you would like to know, you know, what you can do today to, you know, get closer to your best version, to what, you know, what does self-actualization even mean, you know, what does it actually also mean to fulfill your potential? Because maybe you don't even know yet, you know, what your potential really is. Maybe you feel like I hit a ceiling and I know there's so much more that I can do, but maybe you even know what it is that you could do, but then there's like, I don't dare because, you know, I don't want to be seen. I mean, so many women are afraid to be seen, not only publicly on a live stream, but like in the wholeness, you know, in like in the whole range of your emotions, right? I mean, women are so powerful when they can consciously navigate through their emotions and not go into victimhood, into any pleasing, into like hiding, right? Repressing. We are so powerful. I mean, I see it with my own partner, you know, whenever I'm really emotional, you know, and I'm not saying like in an unhealthy way, right? Like completely freaking out. It's like labeling him what I feel. Oh, I'm feeling so angry today, you know, but letting it out, not on him, but in general, right? And not obviously destroying something. We're not talking about destruction here, but just like, hey, I'm pissed off, you know, I'm angry and I want to have some space or whatever, you know. And I think that is so powerful, you know, because at least the men in my world were usually the ones who stepped a bit back and was like, okay, wait a minute. And a lot of men are even afraid of that, to be honest. They don't know how to handle that. Men have never learned. They've never learned about, and sorry if I say that, it's not something for children, but they've never learned what a pussy, a clitoris, or a cervix, you know, how to pleasure that. I know this is not totally out of context to say that, but they have never learned that, the men. We are very much aware as women how a penis works, you know, because that's what we get taught. But men never learn from their families or from wherever else, you know, about the women. They don't. They just know one thing, you know. Also, I don't want to generalize that now, you know, but speaking from my own experience, you know, most of the men that I met in my younger years, they were really not that well versed with women in general, you know, in all sorts of, you know, context, you know. And then they also don't know how to handle our outbursts, you know. And again, not like I'm not talking about any toxicity here, right? But in a way of like, I show how I feel, and that's not because this is not to blame anybody, because usually our parents have also didn't know how to handle their emotions, right? There was maybe not a lot of healthy modeling. So coming back to what I wanted to say is like, very often women don't even know, you know, about their potential, and even, you know, how to hold them through the entrepreneurial journey, which is not a joke. You know, all the freedom that you desire to have. In entrepreneurship, you can have it all. But then another block comes through because you might feel guilty and shameful because you have a lot of time and suddenly you have it all and it still doesn't feel good. So many women go into entrepreneurship and it's like, finally I ditched my corporate 9-to-5 job, you know, and now I have the freedom to create. And then suddenly they find themselves in having exactly this and it still doesn't feel good. It still feels that there's a lot of discomfort coming up with it. So if you have this experience where you say like, I know that there is something that is blocking me, I want to avoid discomfort by any means, because I don't dare to go, let's say on a live stream, I don't dare to offer and talk to people and invite them into my courses, into my one-on-one coaching or whatever that is. And I feel even that I am not even sharing my personal story because I'm just so afraid of rejection. Because that person that I interviewed today, she said that she wants to be understood. And she's afraid that people misunderstand her when she's sharing her story. And she has quite a story to tell, a beautiful story to tell, a tumultuous story to tell, but something I told her, you have to share that. That's exactly what draws people in. And she said she's afraid that people misunderstand her. Underneath is just this fear of rejection, right? The fear of abandonment. The people that might have listened to you will leave because they say like, oh, you know, Martina, what she's talking today on the live stream, like this thing about, she said the pussy word and she used any other expression of sexual organs, you know, it's like, this is not my thing, you know. And if that's the case, you know, totally fine, you know, I get it, you know. It was totally out of context, but I don't care if that feels uncomfortable for you, because I feel like, I mean, if I talk about my 10 fingers, does that trigger you? No, certainly not. So, but yeah, anyway, if there is something that you feel like, there is something, send me a DM and let's have a conversation, because I would love to support you. I want to see if there's anything that I can give you of value, even if you then say like, oh, you know, working together might not be your thing, you know, totally fine. Yet I truly invite you for my one-on-one spot, one coaching spot that I have for 4 months in my container. So I have one spot left, and if you are the chosen one, I'd be happy to, you know, work with you. But anyway, let me know if that live stream resonated and if you would love to hop on a call, and even if it's just to discuss what I presented today, or that I broadly, you know, spoke about. So I didn't know that I was speaking so long. I just wanted to hop on for 5 minutes. I think it's now almost 20 minutes. I still have a lot to do today, but again, I invite you to send me a DM and I would love to have a conversation. And yeah, so take action, or at least put a comment or let me know how that resonated. I'm really, really curious. Jessica, I love you very much. This is my public declaration how much you mean to me, and you are the one staying on my live stream for such a long time. Wait, trying to make this perfect. So, so many hearts. I received that. Thank you so much. Oh, my goodness. Oh, get so love showered by Jessica. Oh my God. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah. So Jessica, I'll see you in the WhatsApp inbox, and to the other folks watching the replay, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day and talk tomorrow. Ciao. Ciao, ciao. Take care.